Hey everybody, it's me over Jones back with a new video, and this is just me, giving my 2 cents on the matter that happened in Alexandria at the Congressional baseball game or baseball practice, where a man approached the area with a rifle, and he fired into those who were on the field. Um, one of the one of the people that was hit was House Majority Whip Steve Scalise from no, I think it was from Louisiana, I believe. And there was a congressional staffer who was hitting the leg. Scalise was hitting the hip. A staffer was hitting the leg, and two Capitol police officers were also hitting the attack. As far as I know, none of them were killed, but there was I know we do know that the guy who did shoot them, he was stopped by police. Um, some things I've heard, when the situation was being reported, once the staffer that got hit in the leg, one of the congressmen that ran at pulled that they don't jump into the dugout with him. They was able to take off his belt and make a tourniquet for him. So he was able to tie off his leg and keep the bleeding down to a minimum, which is kudos on their part, to employ a first aid procedure during such an event. One of them stated, because they was in the military, that it felt like they were back in Iraq. They said there were rounds, it was just rounds. It's like it was never ending. I know Representative Rand Paul, he was out there too. He made statements about it was hitting the dirt and um, how they were making sure that everyone was okay, trying to figure out who where it was coming from, make sure everyone was okay. I was getting a pizza today. I watched a press conference with one of the men who were out there. He's a representative from Texas. His name, I don't have his name at the top of my head, but he came out with his leg in a splint. He was walking on crutches. I guess he talked about he ran and jumped into a dugout. So I'm assuming that he fell and hurt himself rather than getting shot. He was he was describing a situation where Scalise was out there by himself, and someone had to try go and get him and try to pull him back, pull him out of where it was where a lot of the fire was going, and try to get him to safety. He made note of the bravery of the Capital City Police. They're the ones that they're the ones that they kept advancing towards the guy to stop him. And the man was the attacker was killed. He was wounded. He later died on the way to the hospital. So far, we know is that other people, the people who were injured, they're still being treated for their wounds. One of the questions that were asked of him was, what was his, basically his, how was he, what was he, feeling, how did he feel about the situation, or what were his thoughts? And he was saying, it was a shame that, and the guy was shooting at them. They didn't have anything, to fight back with. All they had were bats. They can, if they could, if they could do anything about it, they would have, used the bats, but they couldn't because of the situation. So he showed that there was, he had displeasure in having to sit through that ordeal without actually being able to fight back, which shows that there is still some fighting. There's still, like, at least that spirit is still alive. That people they have the desire to defend themselves. They have the desire to fight back, to not just recoil into a fetal position, and and surrender. And so he discussed that, and he said that when he was asked, was there, they believe having a gun would have, changed the situation. And he said, he believes very much so. Um, because they actually could have fought back. It would have made a big difference. It could have changed the outcome. Fortunately, as I know right now, no one was killed. Um, but there's many people talking about what could have led up, the kind of rhetoric that would have led up to this event happening. And from what I can see, there have been some attacks by those who are seen on by those who are seen as being on the right towards those on the left. But what's not really discussed is a lot of the violence is going from one side to the other, which is a lot of violence going on perpetrated by the left are perpetrated by leftists onto those who are conservatives, or those who we consider right wing or alt right, things like that. And I guess it could be a sign of of direction things are going in. One thing's for sure, we can't keep looking at anytime we see acts of violence like this. It's important for us to dig into the details and figure out who started first. What could have made this thing what actions led up to this event occurring. Some information about the guy. He was 66 years old. He was from Illinois. So I take it he drove from Illinois to Alexandria, Virginia, to do what he did, and he used a rifle. What else? There were talks about and he openly stated on his Facebook page he didn't like Republicans. He didn't like Trump. He despised them in a sense. He was a Bernie supporter. Figuring out whether all this has something to do with leading up to these actions. It's possible. Some people think that when you say that someone's a Nazi continuously, it seems to give people justification to cause them harm, because they say, well, it's okay, I'm harming him because he's a Nazi. Or they don't really say National Socialist, but that's what it means. So it's okay to hurt these people, which no, it's not okay to hurt these people. If they're expressing a different opinion, it's not right to shoot at them, no matter how ridiculous or how harmful you think their opinion is. Until they swing first, you hold back. But if you have to hit, you hit hard, so you don't get back up. Of course, I'm looking forward to many people talking about, one side gonna say we need to get rid of these guns, these tools of war, and obviously the side that I'm gonna be on is like, no, it's not about it being tools of war. There was a guy who had an evil plan. He enacted it with a rifle. He took advantage of he took advantage of an easy targeted situation. And by the way, the representative from Texas stated that they were sitting ducks. And that's how he described it. They were sitting ducks because they couldn't fight. They were unable to fight back. And there were talks about increasing security. And he expressed feelings of he understands security security is going to do its job, but he wants to have an open government. Meaning, he's out in the, him and other representatives were out they were out and about in the public. So that meant that anyone could come off the street and talk to them, which is a good thing, because we don't want to make a situation where our elected officials are so cut off from the public that just to even ask them something in public could be seen as a hostile move, and which will prompt security to try to remove the person. So I don't want us to go in that direction. But I want to say, I commend the actions of those who did what they could to help one another, and hopefully everyone has a speedy recovery. Let's continue to be vigilant and watch our six as as we go through some interesting times. So making this video, if you want to see my older videos on subject like this, with current events, please check out all the videos on my channel. If you want to make a donation to the channel, just look for the give up that cheese button on my homepage. Please like, share, and subscribe. Any gripes, complaints, send me a PM. I'll see what I can do to address them. You know the deal. That's my video. About the incident that happened during the congressional baseball practice. I'm Edward Jones, and you guys take care.